I honestly, one of the best games that I've watched in a minute in terms of that second half. The first half was not so great, but that second half was everything that I would want to see out of a Prem game as a neutral, like not having a team that I really cared about winning the match. It was perfect from that perspective. Mila, you want to take us through your thoughts after a 3-3 draw with Everton?
I thought Everton played good to start off. At least defensively, the structure was there. I feel like that's something that we associate with them, but they've been struggling as of late, and this was a really good display of just proper defending, putting your body on the line. Going hard into tackles is something I'd like to see out of most teams. I do feel that the ref let them play a little more than they let us play, and I think I've been saying that for about as long as we've had the pod. I don't have a problem with physicality, but it can't be one way. And then you also just look at how many times Doku gets taken out throughout the game, and there's a lack of enforcement from the ref, whether it be a yellow card to calm it down a little bit or a caution. Things like that affect the game, and I think players that impacted the game might not have impacted the way they did with better officiating in terms of protecting a player like Doku with some of these reckless challenges. On our part, Doku was phenomenal. Every game he looks more and more like one of the best, if not the best winger. And he's just adding goals to it now. He's beating guys for fun as usual, but now there's responsibility. You could see that he's taken on his shoulders to, if we're not getting goals, if we're struggling, then he'll take the ball and he'll put it in the back of the net. If we can't break through in the box, he'll take the ball, he'll shoot from the outside. Before it used to be a Foden, before it used to be a player like Rodri. We always have someone that's going to take the initiative, and I think he's just the player doing that right now. I'll start with that.
Yeah, Grant, you said in our text thread that the conversations around Doku, because of the goal and assist involvements, puts him in this weird bracket where most people just either, if they're not watching him week in, week out, like we tend to, they just kind of don't rate him. Do you want to kind of elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, I was having a conversation too earlier. Some of my older takes were brought up, and one of them in a different time was to me, you could swap Mudryk and Doku and you wouldn't notice. Very early days with Doku, so you're just gonna have to understand the time that was said. But the reason I said it was because when you look at a player like Doku, you're just thinking, oh, just rinse, repeat in terms of the action, right? You say it as if it's something really straightforward and really easy to do. And I think, like Mila said, I think responsibility is a great way to put it. But if you watch him play every week, the entire defensive game plan revolves around how you're setting up when he has the ball and he's about to take someone on. Like, I know you sent it in the chat a few weeks ago, Mila, about like average positions or like where people are positioned when he has the ball. But I mean, you can use your two eyes and see that, right? And so for people to only use goals and assists to try and to sum up his impact, I just think it's so silly, especially because a lot of the time he'll beat his man, put a ball in, and then that guy makes the pass. He'll get the assist. So you're not always getting a goal or an assist, but especially in the first half, everything went through him. Everything positive that City had went through him. I don't think Cherokee was up for it today. I don't think a lot of guys in particular were up for it today, but Doku, I mean, unbelievable performance today. He deserved better.
Yeah, he's a difficult player for the casual fan to understand. And partially this is because his health record just hasn't been this consistent over his career. Like this stretch of games that he's played in the Prem since really City started to turn it on, I can't remember the last time he's had a consistent stretch of starting games. Like even when he first was getting back into the team, I remember saying like, is he going to play the Madrid game? Because it was just not a set in stone thing. And he's a wonderful player to watch, and this game was just like the perfect description of what he is. Very similar to that Liverpool match earlier in the year where you're just like, holy shit, proper winger. up there for best in the league. In a City side that was wasteful is not the right word for today. It felt tame. He was the opposite.
Yeah. I think like we were saying with the responsibility, I think he just took initiative today. I think a lot of guys were just frustrated and trying to force it through. He actually took the time to take the touches to beat a man and open up a shot for himself, where other guys were kind of just trying to force it down the throat almost and will it into the back of the net. I think Holland's goal is a good example of that. It just worked, caught him sleeping, and we finally opened up the middle of their defense, and we got an easy goal out of it. The rest of the game, we tried to do that, and they blocked everything.
Yeah, Everton's not one of those teams that's going to let you have this crazy, intricate passing sequence that leads to this just across the 6-yard box goal. Like
they'll just hack you at that point.
Yeah, you beat them by going route one, like you did with Holland, or it takes something special sometimes. And Doku in 2 of the biggest moments, like right before half, and then to salvage a point, because if you guys drop all 3, it's over. Like I would have come on here and I would have said, title, it's over. Like Arsenal, even if they drop a game, goal difference, like it would have been very difficult to see a world where Arsenal didn't go on to win. Now he produced that moment of magic with the last kick of the game, which is both goals are worldies.
Stupid.
And he keeps you guys in it.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I honestly, like this game, I had really no problem with our attacking output. I think this is the type of game you expect against an Everton. Like they're going to put bodies behind the ball, and we were up 1-0. All you have to do is see out the game. They're not really causing us problems, and the frustrating part about today is that we let them back into it. Not really anything that they did to make it possible. It was really poor judgment from Gahey and just like a lack of composure in the time. And that opened the floodgates for them, and then we become shaky because of that one mistake. Everyone starts thinking, oh, there goes the title. And it takes a little bit of time to screw the heads back on, but 5 minutes, we concede another goal. And then it looks really grim. I think most teams give up at that point. Say the title race is over. They just ran away with it. Where I get a little more upbeat about it is that the guys screwed their fucking heads back on and went back and made it 3-3 at the end of the day. And we were able to walk away with a point to keep it alive. And again, like with this team, it's never over until it's over. And with Arsenal, like I'm not convinced that they don't bottle it until they don't bottle it. So in terms of the title race, I do think there's still a chance. Obviously, it's a little less now, but we have to have faith. I have to have faith that a miracle can happen, because like I've said before, I've seen miracles multiple times with this team. So for me to give up after a little stumble, I think it's unfair to the club and to the players and manager that represent it.
Yeah. I think that it comes down to next week. Realistically. Like I think West Ham are the only team that have some skin in the game left. Like there's a chance that Burnley maybe do something, but look, they're in an interim. It's just if I'm expecting Burnley to pick up points against Arsenal, then we're not in a good spot. And then I texted you guys that Palace play a final 3 days before, and they are up 3-1 in their current leg. So they're probably going to a final. Glasner's last game, you think he's going to prioritize playing against Arsenal in the last
Yeah,
day?
he's a sicko, dude. You know what? He might. He actually might.
But why would he do
wouldn't
that?
in theory, though. He's a sicko.
But that's
because he's gone anyways.
It might have some sense of that at the very end, but it's going to be about winning.
Very unlikely. Yes.
The final. And so it comes down, for me, it comes down to that next game for Arsenal. Maybe we'll talk about that when we have to talk about it. But I don't know. I feel bad for Gahey because
no, I don't.
You don't feel bad for
bad.
him.
A little bit, but also like
he's getting paid.
I gave him slack against Real Madrid. This is not the same. You've been here before. You've been a captain before. I get the stakes are a little higher, but this was a no pressure situation. And if I've heard reports of him taking the armband. Like, our captain cannot do that at title race. That was just, he lost his head for a second. You can't do that on this team. It might be a little harsh, but this is how
those are the margins.
You build a team that can win. And
I started a Euro
things
final
like that. Like,
Like,
the Guardiola used to be like that, but it was a young center back at the time. He's been here. He has the experience, and that was just poor.
Yeah.
He didn't even need to do that. He could have taken it out wide and just taken a couple touches and then cleared it out of danger. He created the danger in that situation. That's where I really don't feel that bad. Against Real Madrid, big situation, first Champions League, like the Champions League debut against Real Madrid. And then he has a bad game. I can give him a little bit of slack there. But this one, I'm not too sympathetic of it. I'm sure the team will be, and the guys around him should be, manager should be. We're still in it, but as people just observing from the outside, as a fan, like that was not chill.
The reason that I say that I feel bad for him, and the reason that I said I was going to save my thoughts, is this happens in all sports. Is we paint a target on the back of the person that makes the last mistake. So Gay makes a
mistake.
What?
First mistake.
It was the first mistake. There were many other mistakes in the game, but he
No. The last mistake in the season. You guys went through a stretch of this season where you shat your pants for like multiple weeks when he wasn't there. He came in. You guys haven't lost with him in the side. He's going to be the person that if you guys don't get over the hump, people are going to point out that Gahey mistake and say that it's his fault that you guys didn't win the trophy.
He'll get scapegoated. That's unfair.
Wrong.
Yeah.
It was a
That's what I'm saying.
no. It was a 6-yard pass to your goalkeeper that he underhit. Like, I don't want to hit. I'm not having that whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I get what he's saying in the grand scope of
very
things.
good all season, but I'm not.
He's
having
saying
that.
he feels bad that he's going to get this blame retroactively, like in years' time. People are going to pin it on that mistake. Yes, I feel bad in that instance. Yes, he's not. He's part of the reason they got this far. But what Mila's saying, yeah, I have no sympathy for the mistake.
We were in the driving seat of a title race that we shouldn't have been in already, and he got us to that point. Yes, that's a great. That's fine. He also took it away with the shit pass.
Yeah, but so that's his, like, everything that's happened this season is his fault.
No, we did the hard work of getting back to this shit because we were fucking terrible in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and then he made a mistake.
Everyone, like, that's not the type of mistake that we're allowing though. There's got to be standards.
Yeah, he didn't
like. That was really bad.
Then we should go back to every game during that January period or the December period.
That's not clutch time. We're in clutch time right now. I'm not like that. This is
my point. Is that this is the retroactive. Like he made, because you guys fucked up the league. If you lose this, not because of this moment.
Now you have to look. You can't think in the past because that doesn't help the future. This is something
Arsenal when they went through that stretch, none of that matters. They didn't get then. This bottle thing, this whole conversation.
Where are you going with this? I just don't understand.
I think that he's going to get scapegoated for you guys losing.
He's not getting scapegoated.
He will, though.
He's getting blamed because he passed the ball to the opposition striker. He made it so that guy was like playable in that position. If he didn't play it backwards, the guy's offsides. If he gets the ball taken off of him, he's offside. Like, what?
Yeah, but
it's his action that led to the issue. We were fine. We were cruising up until that point. And he changed the tide of the game. Just because he was being good in other games does not mean he can be pardoned for his mistake in a high-pressure situation when all these guys need to be on top of it.
Look, this is the whole... You're literally proving my point to me.
No, dude, he didn't get beat 1v1. He passed the ball to the opposition team striker.
Look, I know he made a mistake. It's a crucial one.
That what his tackles 3 games ago have to do with what he just did today?
What about the tackle he made directly after that play that kept it at 1-1 for the time?
But why are they even pressing us like that?
Look, dude,
because he opened up the game. Like,
that's the thing
you can't have no blame in a team. That's ridiculous.
No, I'm not saying that there's no blame.
Shitty situations.
There was also 20 minutes left to play. Like, that game could have gone any which way. I know that you guys were on track to finish out the game.
Control and momentum.
I honestly thought past like the 50th minute, you guys were getting outworked. It looked like it. And to your point, like you guys, I don't know. You guys
You
had
can roll through the
75%
punches though, but if
possession.
if you literally fucking open up your chin and you're gonna get hit. That's what he did right there. We were playing defensive boxing like we had to do with a 1-0 fucking lead, and then we open up our chin and allow a fucking punch right to the fucking the equilibrium. Like fucking what are we talking about?
Look, you've talked about championship mentality with this team every single week for the last 2 months.
Dylan,
And the
did you
first
look at his
sign of
body
weakness,
language? Did you look at his body language
yeah, he
after
was
anything he
he
did
was
today?
distraught. I don't
Yeah,
blame
it was
him. He made
fucking
an awful
terrible.
mistake.
So that
He
wasn't
feels the weight of the
championship
world on him.
mentality.
Yeah, no, dude, I
It's
get
a
it.
ruthless fucking team. Like I'm not fucking. This is where we fucking get to where we're at.
No,
And if someone's
I
gonna
get it.
pout after one mistake, after every other mistake after that, then maybe there's second guessing that needs to be done. Because the other guys fucking put their head down and worked. Kusanov fucking died to fucking keep us in that game. And I get Gay, he tried to take it forward and make himself look better in terms of dribbling a couple guys and trying to make something happen. That's great. I'm not
He also
saying
made a
he
last
should
second
get
touch.
fucking.
I thought he actually recovered pretty well for what it was. But I just think for a team that has this championship mentality that we've been talking about, the first sign of weakness, you guys totally crumbled. This is the first time that you were tested in that way.
I don't think any other team that we're talking about in the past couple of years actually comes out with a fucking point in this game and keeps it in the title race. So I think, yes, we stumbled, but we fucking screwed our head back on like most other teams wouldn't. I'm
Showed a lot of
fairly
resilience.
confident in that. I don't think any other team would
agree.
be in the situation. I think the title race would be done if it was any fucking other team. I don't know where this argument is going though, because it started with Gahey and now we're talking about the whole team crumbling right now. But we were talking about retroactive.
Because my point is that the whole team deserves blame for if you guys don't win this trophy. And it's going to get, I believe the entire narrative around this, it might not be you. I'm not directly talking to you. We're talking about Manchester City. The fan base will retroactively put it on Gahey's shoulders. They will.
They're going to blame him today because he deserves to be blamed.
I know, and he's going to get that blame. He will have a share in that. I just don't think that he deserves all the blame when it's all said and done. I'm just putting
no
that
one deserves it. But that's why they make $300K a week.
I'm sure people will talk about Donnarumma whiffing on fucking crosses throughout the season, but today this is the one that's gonna fucking sit on everyone's tongue because it was right there, and we had the fucking lead. We were in fucking pole position, leading the race, and he fucking drove the car into the wall with no pressure. It was a sunny fucking day. No rain on the blacktop. Like, what are we? Like, he deserves.
I know he made a mistake.
Pointed at him.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve. He definitely cost you down the stretch here. But I just don't think that we are going to retroactively talk about this point forever. It's going to be like the Gerrard slip.
He's going to be like once Gavardio comes back. I'm not too sure how involved he's going to be. So that's fine.
The crazy. This is exactly my point. Mark Gahey has been one of your best players since he signed, and you're now saying that he's just not going to be involved. We've been
saying this for a long time.
I don't know, man.
Gavardio,
I agree.
I
agree. It's Kusanov and
Kusanov is fucking going to be one of the best in the world.
He'll definitely play.
We've been like this for years. I don't know why this narrative is so crazy to people.
Yeah, he'll play.
We've had players that deserve to be starting week in, week out that don't. For years, and this is why it works.
Championship teams look
they
like.
sacrifice a little bit in that mentality, but today, like, he just didn't have it. It's only occurred 3 to 4 times since I've watched him in a Man City shirt. But in high pressure situations, when we need him to be flawless, I'm not giving him any slack because he was good before. I sure he shouldn't be blamed entirely, but I don't think most people are going to blame him entirely for a season's worth of mistakes. It's just the fact that, again, we were in the position, it was in our hands, and he threw it away. And we clawed back and got it back. He got the assist to Doku to fucking bring the game back leveled.
Yeah.
But the whole point is that we didn't need to be in that situation.
I think that you could also blame the fact that you guys just didn't create much outside of Doku.
I thought they created a lot, but it wasn't necessarily
nobody took a shot
chances. No one took any.
You guys had Semenyo on the pitch, Holland on the pitch, Cherokee on the pitch, and every single time they had a player in front of them, they just double checked it. Like the only
Yeah, it
person that
wasn't
had
great.
the nuts to do it was Doku.
Doku, yeah.
Deserves a lot of
21
time.
shots. Like we took shots. They blocked a lot of them. At a certain point, you can
blocked, yeah.
zoom in on the players and they go, "How the fuck?" I don't remember who it was, but one of them was appalled at just what Everton were doing. I think this is trying to go at City too much for Everton playing a really good game defensively.
And you mentioned his name too earlier, but Rodri, like I think Rodri was a big miss in this game. I thought Nico G, in the
Nico
time
G
he was
still
getting minutes, in the time he
ridiculous.
was getting minutes, looked very good. And I think today it wasn't the same story. Right? Rodri was missed today, and like you said, Rodri also has that initiative, and he'll rip one and he'll hit it too. So I think he was a big miss. Bernardo, again, he's been really good in this resurgence for City. He wasn't great today. So when your guys who are typically good aren't at their best, you need other guys to step up. Doku got that assignment, but again, not enough from everybody as a collective.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like, I feel like if we were to remove the teams and we were to say that one team had 75% of the ball, we would have expected more out of them. And that's honestly how I felt. Like, I know you guys should have won
Scored 3 goals. If you score 3 against Everton, you should win.
That's,
you know what I mean?
So 2 worlds, and them
City have really good players. You know what I mean? They have the goal scorer up top.
The fact that the goals that were scored in this match for City should have seen out a win. And to your point, like, Gahey is probably the reason that it wasn't. But I also just didn't feel like there was much venom to your guys' play today.
But sometimes you, especially against Everton, like you walk away with a 1-0 win away from home, and we're cruising. We're fine.
Very similar performance against us. You know what I mean? The opponent
a
wasn't trying to
1-0
punch
could
back
have been enough.
But
there was no need for anything more than a 1-0 this game.
That performance was enough offensively. I fully agree. I mean, that was literally what you did to us. Like you didn't really go crazy at any point in the game. Like I said, maybe 10 minutes of it, but that's all it took. And you knew that, again, it's a marathon. See the game out, move on, get the points, move on. I think you would have probably wanted to maybe be a little more adventurous up 1-0 just for goal difference sake, but nothing outrageous. And yeah, I mean, they scored 3 goals. I didn't know they had 21 shots, but I get what you're saying, Dylan. It didn't feel like there was an impetus up until obviously you lose the lead of we really need to score here. But and even the first 15 minutes in, it kind of felt like it was coming. So I tend to side a little more with Mila here. Like I think that's how Everton defend, and you got to give them credit.
There was a commentary point that they made, and I was like, it's kind of how I feel. And they said, if you had changed the teams around and you had put Arsenal in this spot in the first half, and you'd put City.
Oh yeah, I remember when they said that. That was,
but that's how I felt. No, that is how that felt.
It was horseshit.
That's how that felt.
I disagree, but I remember at what point. Yeah, I totally disagree.
Dude, if Doku
there would have been way more foul calls. Like I don't know. We were getting fucking kicked to shit, and our players were frustrated. And to that point, like Semenyo really couldn't get anything going because every time you get fucking barreled into by one guy, and then another guy would take him out, and then we get a foul call. And there's no yellow
to fucking
make up for that. So if they're gonna just play like that, like I understand where you're coming from as a neutral, but that's just not how it works. Like we can't be fucking kicked to shit and then play a good defense and then be blamed that we didn't produce anything. We couldn't produce anything. Every time someone tried to produce something, got fucking taken out, and there's no yellow. So it just keeps happening over and over and over again.
Keyword trying to produce something. Again, I don't think Cherki was very good today, but a lot of that half, along with Doku beating his man 1v1, is Cherki at least looking for it, looking and trying to do something positive, and I wouldn't give Arsenal that same credit. So again, I don't think it was an Arsenal-esque performance, because I do remember the comm saying that, and it pissed me off.
Just because you tried something and it didn't work doesn't mean that it's good.
Arsenal aren't trying shit. They're just going backwards. That's the difference. That's my whole point.
The point was these two games directly against each other. But what I'm trying to get at is it just felt like this performance wasn't that great from City, and then a moment of awfulness really sparked it over the line. I think getting a
that's why he deserves the blame, though. A 1-0 win would have been fucking fantastic today. We didn't play that great.
My thing is I don't know. I genuinely don't know if that would have happened. Like, I still don't know if you guys would have seen it over the line. No,
I don't
exactly.
like if fucking
But
if
what I do
Gahey
know
shot
is
the ball in the
after
back
that
of the net
happened, the
for them, like
entire
I'm sure
team
we
fell apart for a 10-minute stretch, and you guys went down 3-1. And then you guys had enough mentality to get back into it. But if you just the championship like mindset of the team and just clicked on and just lifted up Gahey, because he's lifted you guys up for a long stretch of the season. If you guys had just locked in for 5 minutes, and maybe this is the Rodri point, if he had just
it's
played.
a little jarring when that rock that you've had fucking explodes. Like people get a little shaken up, and it takes 5 minutes for them to score another goal. Like this is to me, this is so simple. This is like a big duh because yes, the guy fucked up terribly, and it shook us a little bit, and we got our shit back together and came away with a point when it should have been a fucking 3 points.
I feel like when I haven't I don't know if I can say that I think that City could win 1-0 every single week, and
They don't need to
just
every single week. We've been fucking almost flawless since January. We haven't lost a game still.
Yeah, I know. That's
We
and
can try to make a narrative about it. I don't see that in that at all. We all knew that this was going to be a little bit of a tough game away from home against Everton. And if there was ever going to be one that was a rock in the road, it was going to be this game.
yeah.
So for them to put up a good fight and then walk away with a point, I don't see what's so crazy about this. I think yes,
I never
City
said
should
it
have
was
been a
crazy.
little better on the day.
And I think
But
a
again,
fair point
it
to
was given to them. It was literally handed on a silver platter to them.
Yeah. And the reason I back Mila on this one is when every time we're talking about Chelsea, it's like these are the margins. It's like they know damn well what the margins are over at City. So again, I fully agree with him where a schoolboy error like that, yeah, that'll absolutely cost you a title. It very well can.
Yeah. No, he will be a part of the conversation. I think he should be. He will feel that blame. But I personally am not
Played a
gonna
big
talk
part
about
in
it
getting
being
them
the
to this
narrative.
game meaning something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be the whole narrative when we talk about Mark Gahey. And I
It
think
won't
that's
be.
It won't be his whole
Power.
narrative, but it's definitely going to be a big talking part of it all.
And this
Steven
week,
Gerrard's one of the Premier League greats. That slip is still one of the big talking parts of his whole career.
It's the game.
If you look up Steven Gerrard, you're going to see the slip in one of the first images. So, like, as nice as he might be as a person, like, it doesn't matter. This is how the game is played, and he made a terrible mistake today. And if it's talked about for 10 years, 20 years, because we didn't walk away with the league, then that's just how the cards were dealt to him. I don't have any sympathy. If we end up winning the league, no one's going to talk about it ever again. So there's implications to everything, and I think, and he deserves no grace just because he's been good leading up to this. If that was Kusanov, we'd never hear the end of it. He'd be plastered on the walls. If that was Nunes, he'd be back to being a bum. They'd call him a fucking idiot all over again.
I'd be making the same point for all of them. I think it's where that's what I would have made for all of them.
Of course.
But everyone was slippy that game, by the way, or was that just me? Like, especially in the second half, everyone was slipping.
Everyone was slipping because both goals come on a result of a slip. Like someone slipped in the midfield and then the ball just got through, and
that was annoying.
Chasing. That was the second goal. Really put the nail in the coffin of if you guys could really get back into it and get 3 points, because it just
Hill Dickinson, man.
It was so quick. It was so quick.
Tough place to go.
I'll let you leave your closing remarks and then we'll talk about United.
It's not over. Arsenal. I still don't fear Arsenal as much as fucking shitty as it was for us today. Fear no man. Yeah, I think we still have a chance, and I've been saying it'll be a last day type of thing if it does happen. So this only feels that a lot more. And Villa, packed stadium, North Stand will be open. I think the script is there. They just need to write it.
Yeah.